vintage. The vintage is in the corner here.
Okay.
2016 of 2 Grand Cru levels. So it's a Große Gewächs from the vineyard Ölberg and the Große Gewächs wine from Hipping.
Okay.
And here we are now slightly higher in alcohol. It's 11.5.
Okay. Okay.
So, but for Große Gewächs, I think you will not find a second on this alcohol level.
Danke.
If it comes to this quality level of wine, time is the most important thing we need to respect. So, for some of our Große Gewächs wines, it needs up to 5 years or so to complete the picture of a wine.
Yeah.
We say that our way to make wine is a kind of frame, a frame of stability. And then we need to wait until the wine is growing into this frame. And during the first years, this picture is just black and white. But if it comes to the point when the minerality starts to spice up the wine, then the color comes to the picture. So we know in our days that wines from our best terroirs will get a very salty time after 3 or 4 years.
What's the aging potential like time?
I can only tell you that the wines we did so far in this style since 2008 are still all, from entry level to the big boys, they are all extremely stable. So my feeling says it's 20-30 years minimum, but I cannot approve yet. So
no, it's good to have it to try it 20 years later.
Yes.
Huh?
We are this year.
Do you do it in larger formats?
Yeah, we do magnums as well.
You do magnums.
Magnums, 1.5 liters. Yeah. And the magical thing we can announce now in this year is that we have now a row of 10 vintages. So I started 08, and we have now vintage 18 coming up. So we will have some special tastings at home this year to go on 10 years of Petzental, Grand Cru, for example. We can show you 10 vintages of natural wines, and we can show you 10 vintages of cabinet styles.
Okay.
In our new world thing.
Okay. Good.
Very, very interesting. So, cheerio with Ölberg.
Yeah.
Vintage 16 is for us a very closed vintage. So, vintage 15 and 17 were more opened, while 14 and 16 are more closed. So
when you say closed, does that mean that the wine on entry develops a rounder feel in your mouth, or
if I say closed, I say it's not very intense yet. So
okay,
it's still
that's what you mean by
yeah.
closed.
Yeah, so closed means for me they are still very hidden in a way.
So the wine will develop.
Yes, a lot.
Open up.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have no older bottles with me. It would be a pleasure to share now vintage 12. It's
so,
in a marvelous drinking situation at the moment. But in the early days, we really needed to sell our wines, so we don't have too many bottles left to approve.
But that's only for your own.
It's for us, and I told you that now we are going to have some vintage flights. 10 years, but we do that at home.
Okay.
And we invite some journalists to join
yes.
and do this kind of 10 years.
Part of the education program.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in the line of Große Gewächs wines, for us, Ölberg is our small Grand Cru. That means Ölberg is the easiest to drink early. Ölberg is, if we talk about fruit, the most fruit-driven Grand Cru in our portfolio. And then Hipping is more on the herbal side. It's more freaky, more wild in a way. And then Petzental is the most salty and most mineral. So
okay.
That's more or less our way of 3 Große Gewächs wines, that each of them has an idea behind already.
Okay.
Like you see, everything here has an idea.
Okay.
Of course, nature is nature, and sometimes it comes in a different way. But if you work already with an idea and a vision, it's so far more easy to work together with the wines.
Okay.
So we jump now to Hipping. Huh?
Yep. What's the word Ölberg mean in German? Is it Old German or?
So with Ölberg means oil and mountain. So it's a oil.
That's a literal meaning.
Yeah, that's a.
Then what about Hipping?
Honestly, with Hipping, I have no really translation. what hipping should mean.
Is it from a dialect, German dialect?
It's an old word, but honestly, this vineyard, when I was a kid, was called Fuchsloch.
Oh.
And this has a meaning. So Fuchsloch means it's a hole for foxes. So there are a
So
lot
how
of
did Fuchs law change to hipping?
classification systems. Don't ask too much about German rules sometimes.
You have to change it because of
Yeah. So if you ask me, I would be fine with the old word of Fuchsloch.
But when was the name changed?
So honestly, we called it in the family Fuchsloch, and I think before the big wine law changed in the 70s, the vineyard was called like this.
Oh.
So in the 70s there was a big new wine classification, and they wanted to make it easier to make from 50 different vineyard names in Nierstein. They brought it down to 10 or so.
I see.
And so they did several vineyards together and named it hipping.
You mean there are other vineyards in other winery with the same name?
Yes. Yeah. So of course. So we are not going on a monopoly here.
That's what I'm trying to establish.
Yeah. So for
So
example,
this name exists in other labels by other winemakers.
yes,
I
hipping is made by other VDP producers and some other producers
So
outside
it's
the VDP as well.
it's more a wine classification name rather than the name that describes the terroir.
No.
Okay.
It's a vineyard name. It's a name of a single vineyard, or Grand Cru vineyard.
Okay.
So, and we are not the only owners. So,
But it has to be Grand Cru.
this vineyard is certified to be Grand Cru. So, but whatever you do out of this, you can do a estate level wine if you want. But if you want to go on a Grand Cru, what makes sense here, if you have the best terroir, you need to go on the highest class in the way to
I see.
to
So
celebrate.
this one hipping in this foxhole site
Yes.
is the highest level for you.
For us, hipping is a Grand Cru.
Yeah, okay.
So, and not only for us, it's certified Grand Cru by the VDP.
Okay.
So we honor this vineyard a lot, and we are very good neighbors. So there are some other iconic producers directly next to us here in Hipping. So
They call that wine hipping too.
yes,
Okay.
like with some other vineyards in the world.
No, we just
there are more
wanted to
producers.
know how to understand the label because
Sure.
sometimes German wine label is not readily known to a lot of
know.
people.
I understand.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now you see, it's more
More verbal, herbal.
more herbal,
Yeah.
more wild, but it stays longer in your mouth at the same time. Already the saltiness is deeper and longer.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how big the
It's the
difference.
same, 2016?
Yes.
Okay.
So unfortunately we don't have a Pettental here. So Pettental from 2016 was auction only, so it was very rare.
So how was auction prices?
Oh, high.
Hi.
High, very high.
Do you auction single barrel or just bottle?
Bottled, of course, yeah.
So how much did it go for?
It goes extremely over 100 euros. Yeah, highly over. So auctions are perhaps helping you if you are stressed in quantities. So if you don't know how to share a couple of bottles with a lot of consumers.
Let the market decide.
Yeah, but at the same time, auctions are a big risk. You cannot control the price that's coming out, and for us, the prices are at the moment going too fast.
Where was the auction held? Where was the auction held?
The auction is organized by the VDP, and it's in Bad Kreuznach. It's the Naha region.
So every year in the Naha region?
Yes. So every year there are two auctions for the VDP, one for Mosel region and one for the others. And the auction for the others is at Naha once a year. In
And
September.
Mosel? Which part of Mosel?
It's in Trier.
Okay.
The auction for all the
Okay.
Mosel, Saar, Ruhr.
And it's at the same time of the year or different time?
Same time of the year, one day after each other.
Okay. So you went to Naha.
I went to the Naha region, and so it's this kind of auctionizing idea is very old to the VDP. So I told you that in the old days we were called Naturweinversteigerer, means natural wine auctioning wineries. This was the old word of this club with the eagle you see on the cap.
Okay. Is this a double-headed eagle?
No, it's only one head. Yeah, it's
Not owned by Russians yet.
No.
Prussian eagle.
Yeah, no. This is our VDP symbol, symbolizing the finest wines from Germany. With a lot of.
You need to have the classification to put that eagle on.
Yes.
So it's just like Chianti wine.
Yes, it's like a kind of guarantee stamp already. And
so you recognize it by that.
The eagle on the cap, and then you see the classification also. So here you see it's VDP große Lage, means core cru level of vineyards.
Okay.